complicate things a little bit more there. So she calls me Kant. She goes, hey, Kant Tracy. I go, you're just looking at me, Kant Tracy. The boys looked at me.
gentlemen, it is my privilege to welcome you to Clyde F. Peterson Stadium, the home of the Huskies. And tonight's Harlem High School 2021 graduation ceremony. You know, I got to tell you, I've said that a million times from inside the press box. It looks a lot better out here. You guys look great. Hey, first off, I'd like to give a shout out to the star of Good Morning America, Mr. Tim Perrin, and the Harlem Jazz Band. Sounding good. Secondly, I'd like to take a quick poll. You've been sitting for a long time, so please, humor me. If you had me as a student, could you please stand? Awesome. If you did not have me as a student, please stand with them. You've been sitting a long time, and while you're up, how about a shout out, a scream? Just put your hands together and welcome your graduating students. This is awesome. Hey, first off, thank you for being here. Truly an exciting night. It's at this time my privilege, first off, to acknowledge from our concert band, the Harlem Concert Band. Please stand up, senior members. The seniors for the Harlem Concert Band. Come on, put a wave, something, so the crowd can cheer and yell and scream for you. Any seniors out there? None. There could have been. Give them a round of applause anyway. Then at this time, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tim Perrin, directing the Harlem Concert Band. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can we give it up one more time for Mr. Perry and the band, please? All right, at this time, please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Reese Stovall, our junior class president, and then the Star Spangled Banner.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Reese. You may be seated. So at this time, we are asking those of our students who will be serving our country after graduation to stand and be recognized. So if you're going into the military after graduation, can you please stand and be recognized? All right, thank you, everyone. All right, so good evening, class of 2021. That seems weird to say, especially on a late night, 8:30, when we normally would not do it. But this is exciting and this looks great. So I'm really going to enjoy this. So I'm so excited to welcome everyone to our 108th commencement ceremony for Harlem High School. More importantly, a special welcome for our honored guest, the class of 2021. Can we give it up for him, everybody? I will try to slow down a little bit. I'm so excited to be here. So your day has finally arrived to be recognized for your hard work, commitment, and dedication over the last 12 years. Today, everyone, we have 386 graduates that have met what I hope will be the first of many life accomplishments. You survived in a lot of ways, even thrived, despite doing school during a pandemic, in a time that will most certainly be remembered for the rest of our lives. This day not only represents all of your hard work, but the close of one chapter and the beginning of the next one. As I close out my chapter as your proud principal, I think about what my legacy will be. I hope that when you think of me, you know that I did the very best that I could for the staff and students of our school and our community. So, that being said, I'm breaking tradition a little bit, and I'm including a speech from graduating senior Madison Woodman. When she shared with me her mental health journey, I thought it summed up the last year and a half perfectly. So Madison, could you please join me on stage?
Thank you, Principal Yarbrough. Good evening, staff, students, family, and friends. Welcome to the graduation of the class of 2021. Just a few days ago, I brought this idea up to a few people in our faculty about how important mental health is and how people should know what it's like to attend a school that cares about the well-being of their students. I'm not going to stand up here and act like a mental health specialist, but I've had my fair share of problems with not only my health, but the stigma attached to it. Growing up, you hear that high school will be the best 4 years of your life, but nobody ever thinks about a child's mental well-being while saying that. Although I do not agree with the fact that it will be the best 4 years of your life, it will be some of the best memories you ever make as long as you take care of yourself. Students and staff often throw themselves into more than they can handle and forget about what is good for them, and then all of a sudden, they have way too much on their plate and not enough mental stamina to handle it. Harlem has continued to care and work as a team to make sure that they help their students in every way possible and make accommodations so they are still able to complete high school to the best of their abilities. By informing the teachers of your mental health, they go above and beyond by allowing you to work at your own pace and take time to allow yourself to breathe and pull yourself together. The counselors not only took care of their assigned students, but allowed anybody and everybody into their office that was willing enough to open up and talk to them while also taking time out of their days to create groups so everybody had a safe and accepting environment to attend to. While not only running the school as a team and taking care of everything else, the principals at Harlem High School always made a point to talk to the students in the hallways while also sending out emails to check on their students. Even though all of our memories in the Harlem district aren't all sunshine and rainbows over the past 14 years, or even 1 year, we will always be able to say that our school community cared about one another and did everything in their power to help their students care for them. Once you hit a certain spot in your mental state, it seems like you are walking in a dark tunnel in which you will never see the light at the end of. But it is there, and you will find it. For example, while I was in the darkest moments of my life, I never thought I would see the day come where I get to walk across the stage in front of my peers and receive my diploma. And obviously a global pandemic that we're living in currently didn't help that any. But we're finally at the end of the tunnel and entering a new one that we all will hope will never be as dark as the one that we just left. As we enter into this new chapter of our lives, never forget that you own the pen and you write your own story. I believe in each and every one of you and cannot wait to watch you succeed in all of your future endeavors. With that being said, to the underclassmen, live your fullest all through your journey through school and even further. I believe in each and every one of you and cannot wait to watch you succeed in all of your future endeavors. Congratulations, class of 2021. We finally did it.
Thank you, Madison. So congratulations, class of 2021. And on behalf of the staff of Harlem High School, like I've said, and I said from my mentor before me, you're 4 years a student, but you are forever a Husky. Good luck on your journey. At this time, I'm going to have Dr. Morris come to the stage and also welcome everyone. Dr. Morris.
Good evening. What an absolute honor it is for me to be here tonight to welcome you and to celebrate the class of 2021. And of even greater honor to thank you, our students, for the years you have worked so hard to grow into the young adults you have become. You should be very proud. I was there with you at Parker Center 13 years ago to help you find your way on your first days of school. I was there at district-wide registration when others of you were new to Harlem and weren't sure what to expect. Now look at you. You have persevered through thick and thin to be here tonight. You stayed the course through the pandemic and did not let that define you or your high school experience. Just to name a few things that this class has done within the past school year alone. Our welding students donated a grill to Miss Carly that they designed and built. The football and girls bowling teams were named the Nick 10 Conference Championships. Our equity leaders produced and presented to the public a banner and a message that we here in Harlem honor each and every student who attends our schools. Our theater students produced virtually the play Little Women. Our band program was highlighted on Good Morning America. This senior class received more than $1.6 million in scholarship money for their continuing education. And our student class leaders collaborated with our high school administrators and staff to make sure this event would be the best it could possibly be for all of you. You have emerged as true leaders and have made a very strong statement that just because the pandemic has tied your hands in so many ways, you were going to deliver and going to forge your own path toward accomplishing what was important to you before you finished your career as a Harlem student. Some of you have a fully laid out plan for your next steps, and others of you have absolutely no idea what's next. If I have advice for you, I would ask you to consider this. For those of you with a well laid out plan, give yourself some wiggle room and possibly adjust that plan as a bump or fork in the road or a completely different path presents itself. It does not mean that you did not succeed. It only means that you are flexible to stay focused on your goals while considering adjustments to that goal and those goals. For those of you who have no idea what your next steps are yet, it's okay for now. Give yourself grace. You have time to figure it out. Keep your eyes, your mind, and your heart open to the myriad of possibilities waiting for you to grab onto. Try not to be afraid to take a step, whether it works out right away or whether you have to make adjustments along the way. You have all shown strength, compassion, and wisdom beyond your years over this last year or so. Trust that and take a step toward realizing your unlimited potential. Wherever your journey takes you, know that you have Harlem behind you to back your play. When you stumble and when you succeed. Now I know you will do both, stumble and succeed, because both are part of the process. Have the courage to be who you really are. Live your life honestly and with integrity, and let yourself shine for what you bring to the table. I wish you safe travels on your journey through life. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Dr. Morris. I think everyone knows that this is Dr. Morris's last year, so thank you for everything that you've done for me personally and the Harlem community. So can we give it up for Dr. Morris, please? All right, so at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the individuals who have joined me on stage to congratulate our graduates. Obviously, Dr. Julie Morris, Superintendent of the Harlem School District. Oh, I'm going to always pause for her, so give it up for her. Dr. Michelle Erb, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction. Mr. Josh Aran, Assistant Superintendent of Business Operations. And our board members, Mr. Michael Sterling, President. Ms. Jill Brogan, Vice President. Ms. Evelyn Meeks, Secretary. Ms. Sue Brogan. Mr. Kurt Thompson. And Ms. Sharon Ranieri. And also helping in the presentations is Associate Principal, Dr. Jeremy Boyce. At the end of the ceremony, graduates will exit the north end and the audience will exit the south end of the stadium. Then plan to meet your graduates outside. It is our tradition that the senior class president gives a farewell address. It is my pleasure to present this year's senior class president, Oriana Jenny. Oriana is the daughter of Orges and Arena Jenny. Oriana.
Thank you, Dr. Morris and Dr. Yarbrough, for welcoming us here tonight. Although this milestone is bittersweet, we'll always be able to say that the class of 2021 was notorious for leading our superintendent, principal, and perhaps the longest-standing teacher and coach of Harlem's history to the conclusion, yep, this is the year I graduate too. A class with such an unusual talent must have equally questionable taste when choosing their representative, their class president, also known as yours truly. For whatever reason compelled my peers to put me here, I am honored and humbled to have had this responsibility. Life without a purpose is not living. And being class president forced me to contextualize all of my life experiences, the activities I did, the subjects I studied, the relationships I made, toward the bigger picture. Why do we do these things anyway? I needed to understand the human experience if I was going to help my class, provide guidance, and ultimately be a friend. I used my personal life for experimentation. I wanted to understand what motivates us to act and think in certain ways. Is it mindless or subconscious? Is it deliberate? My conclusion is that it traces back to the subconscious and that we all want to be happy. We all want fulfillment. But then we must also ask, well, what is fulfillment? And isn't that the age-old question? I took my experiences from Science Olympiad and Model UN. I reflected on the time I devoted towards NHS and Student Council, German Club, and Ethnic Food Club. I thought of math team and tennis and piano, deliberation, then cross-comparison, over and over again. No wonder why Mrs. Spera called me anal. It was like one of those FBI evidence walls, you know, the ones with all the red string connecting the pictures. Yeah, that, but inside my head. And sometimes I would have these epiphanies, and if I could summarize them for you, this is what it boils down to: love. When I say love, I mean love in the all-encompassing sense. This love is not single-handedly filial love, romantic love, platonic love, self-love, among other denominations. From love, we get kindness, compassion, courage, respect, and all these virtuous qualities we strive to embody. Let me share one of my favorite quotes, which is from War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Yes, love, but not the love that loves for something, to gain something, or because of something, but the love that I felt for the first time when dying. I saw my enemy and yet loved him. I knew that feeling of love which is the essence of the soul, for which no object is needed. And I know that blissful feeling now too. I found that there's this inescapable vulnerability we have, which is our love for others. Even the Joker, unpredictable, wanting to watch the world burn, had a purpose. His motivation for living was to disprove all the morals Batman stood for, and that too is a sort of attachment. Without Batman, who else would be so satisfying to corrupt? In life, why do we have jobs? I mean, sure, we want to make money, but what for? Well, we want to provide for our families, that's one example. Why do teachers stay after school to help their students? I mean, it's not like they're paid hourly. They care about us and want us to succeed, to learn, to prosper, and go out into the world as good people. Why do we have at least one person, a best friend, a parent, a grandparent, a sister, a brother, someone who we trust and go to when we are at the peak of happiness and at the depths of sorrow. We just can't help it. And it's not a weakness to have vulnerabilities. Our capacity for love is a superpower as much as it's a vulnerability, and it is worth it. I used to play piano for competition and of course for personal enjoyment, but at around the age of 13, I began playing summer concerts in local parks with an orchestra. We played for others' enjoyment, and we also raised money for youth string camp. Those who couldn't afford to learn an instrument now could. And this was one of those first times I took my interests and skills and made use of it for a greater cause than myself. The blissful feeling Tolstoy alluded to, I felt it then. True fulfillment. I loved to read from a young age, and it shaped who I am in extraordinary ways. So I became a reading buddy at the library and have been able to help young children, like I once was, become better readers and see the joy reading offers. Again, I felt that blissful feeling in being able to share a part of myself for the benefit of someone else. One day, a child I read with may write a book or become a teacher simply because they found the courage and inspiration to see something meaningful there. We tend to admire people for their accomplishments, and the greatest of accomplishments are the most revered and awed. What's funny is that these great accomplishments cannot be realized by a single person. When you think of the world's most paramount successes, they are the byproduct of time, patience, and most importantly, the efforts of many. Just look at us. To graduate is an accomplishment we should all be very proud of. But don't overlook those behind you. And I mean that figuratively and literally, look behind you. Family, friends, teachers, counselors, loved ones who are here today are those who supported us, sacrificed for us, and have dedicated their lives towards our happiness and success. My greatest achievement cannot be found on a report card. It is not a piece of pretty paper or a trophy displayed on a shelf. My greatest accomplishments are those where I utilize my skills and knowledge towards benefiting the lives of others and thereby making positive change that is everlasting. As Louis Pasteur said, chance favors the prepared mind. What is school and education but a preparation for life? When the opportunity arises, we must be able to capture it. Last summer during lockdown, I, along with friends I made through Model UN, decided to start our own international online conference. Yes, I felt in over my head, but with a cleared schedule and a goal, we went to work. In the span of 2.5 months, we gathered over 250 students from 13 countries for a virtual conference hosted entirely by high school students. Beyond the educational experience and goal of bringing people together in a time of need, we also raised donations for COVID relief. That will forever remain a reminder to me of the power of preparation and of love. I can't predict the future. I can't tell you what the difficulties and triumphs ahead of you are. Nobody knows. All I can say from experience is that your life will not go as you've planned, but that is not something to resist or fear. Let life take you where it means to, because it will turn out for the best. Also, life is full of balance. Nobody is entirely selfish or selfless. Things that are good don't last forever, just as bad things too are not permanent. What you can control, and what will always be part of your life, are the relationships you have, because they are what make you and motivate you. Everything you do will affect others, so be considerate and purposeful. Be kind and empathetic to all you meet, and take care of the relationships that are most dear to you. Let me leave you with a final quote. For those familiar with Into the Wild, these are the words of Christopher McCandless, a real-life person who died in pursuit of the essence of life. Happiness is only real when shared. It has been my honor to speak for you today. Not often will hundreds of people be so kind as to listen to what a person has to say. So thank you for your attention. Congratulations to the class of 2021, and thank you to all those who love and support us.
Thank you, Oriana. Our next address will be given by one of our valedictorians of the class of 2021. I would now like to present Grace Biggers. Grace is the daughter of Bruce and Laura Biggers.
Dr. Yarbrough. Hello, everyone. As Dr. Yarbrough has so kindly told you, my name is Grace Biggers, and I am so honored to be speaking to all of you today. It's almost crazy that I get to be up here today, talking to the class of 2021 and the people who care most about them. I'll admit, this isn't quite as I pictured it, but I'm grateful to be here at all. And I've forgotten to take off my mask. I've been looking forward to this moment where I could stand here and give my speech for longer than is probably considered normal, ever since I watched a member of my own family give a speech of their very own. That speech was a little long, longer than mine or any of ours will be, but it inspired me all the same. Someday, I wanted to give a speech too. I swore to myself that I'd do everything that I can to get onto that stage, and I was so sure of myself that I went home and I wrote my very own valedictorian speech that same afternoon. It wasn't good, but it's the thought that counts, right? Of course, my confidence has not always remained as steadfast as it was back then. I doubted myself a lot, wondered if I was cut out for this, if maybe I was aiming too high, and if I needed to set a more achievable goal. But I'm here. After all this time, after all my fears and doubts, after everything that could have stopped me, I'm here. And so are you. Every one of you sitting on the turf in front of me here today is here because of what you did. You put in the time, you put in the effort, and you did what you needed to in order to get yourself here today. Do you know how crazy that is? How amazing? Because I do. Let me tell you a little story. Back in ye olden days of being a freshman, I was in the marching band. It was pouring on the night of the homecoming game, and of course, all of us were worried about our instruments and not incredibly happy about getting them wet. Obviously, playing in the rain wasn't all that fun, and we'd had experience. You know why? It was because, as we were all shivering and dreading playing in that shed right over there, we decided together that we wouldn't let this affect us. We were going to march onto that field, and we were going to give it everything we had. And when we got there, we knew it didn't matter if it was raining or how bad we might end up sounding because of it, because we were going to try anyway. We were going to try, despite the rain, and make it a night to remember. And we did, because I do remember it. I don't think I'll ever forget it. I think life is like that. Sometimes it's raining really hard, and you don't want it to be, and you don't want to go out there and risk praying badly, but you have an audience out there, and you can't let them down. Why not make the best of it? Why not try anyway, even if circumstances make it harder to show off your best? Being unable to put your best foot forward doesn't make it pointless to walk at all. Graduates, we are the class of 2021. We're the class of COVID, the class that garners sympathy for what we've lost, but awe at how we've overcome it all. We are the class of resilience, the class that can take whatever adversity life throws at us, the class that will never give up. Even when the going gets tough, we will keep walking on with our heads held high. Maybe we won't always be able to sprint or jog or skip along. We can always find it in us to take just one step. Every step counts, and every step forward is a step worth taking. As we part ways, we're going to become a lot of different things. We'll take on new school mascots, new jobs, new names, new lives. We'll evolve into something completely different than we are now, and that's what's so beautiful about life, right? No matter what happens in the future, we were all here, right now, waiting for the rest of our lives. We were all Huskies once, and a part of us always will be. Thank you, teachers and staff, for helping us get where we are today. We appreciate all you've done for us and how you've prepared us for a life outside of high school. We wouldn't be where we are today without you, and I really do mean that. You facilitated growth in us, and now we're ready to thrive. We are the class of 2021, and we can do whatever we put our minds to. I'm so proud of all of you, and I can't wait to see what you all accomplish. Congratulations, Huskies, you've made it.
All right, thank you, Grace. Our next address will be given by our second valedictorian. I would now like to present Benny Sinshoven. Benny is the son of God and Binaja Sinshoven. I tried, Benny. I'm sorry, Benny. I tried.
You know, Mr. Yarbrough, 4 years of pronouncing my last name, I can proudly say you've mastered it. Good evening, friends and family, administrators, staff, and most importantly, the esteemed class of 2021. I'm beyond honored to have been given the opportunity to speak to you all tonight. But before I begin, I want to thank everyone gathered here for their immeasurable contributions to our success as a class. Quite honestly, there are no words to describe how important your compassion, dedication, and patience have been in helping us reach this momentous occasion. But as much as today is a celebration of our collective journey, it is also the beginning of the rest of our lives as independent, responsible adults. With this in mind, I felt that I owed it to you all to make sure that this was the best second of 3 valedictory speeches you will ever hear in your entire lives. In all seriousness, I decided to approach this task with the same grit and determination that has characterized the greatness of our class over these past several years. And so late last night, I opened a Google Doc and began to type. I spent some time searching cool speech ideas and watching cheesy motivational videos on YouTube, but ultimately, I came to the conclusion that you all are probably tired of hearing the same old cliches being used to describe moments like this, that frankly deserve better. So instead, I feel as though it is important that I tell you all that we're going to fail. Not to be cynical, but the future is going to hurt a lot. And when I say failure, I'm not talking about losing games or bombing quizzes. No, I'm talking about the type of failure that drags you down so hard and so deep that you don't want to come back up. It's inevitable. But at the same time, it's important that we are able to recognize that our failures don't mean we've reached the end of a winding road. Rather, they're segments on a greater map of our success. Because that feeling of defeat is really what drives us to grow. It's what emboldens us in our hopes to make a mark on the world, to leave a legacy of change, whether it be as an advocate for social justice, an engineer at the forefront of their field, or simply someone who makes the lives of those around them a little bit better. To my peers who feel as though this message doesn't apply to them, wondering why me of all people, I have only one thing to say to you. Why not? Because if not us, then who? Who will take on the inevitable challenges and failures that face our generation? Who will work towards a better tomorrow if not us? Because frankly, it has to be us. We have to do better and be better than those that have come before us in order to ensure that there is a tomorrow. For the sake of those that sit next to us, for those that stand above and below, watching, trying to understand what is to be made of potentially the most consequential generation in human history. In our recent past, we've gone through a series of events unlike any other. Our world has been turned upside down in more ways than I could count. And more often than not, the world leaders that we've looked towards for hope and guidance have failed us. We have been bombarded by unnecessarily strong and polarizing viewpoints designed to invoke emotions that seed division over any sense of sound judgment. For that, we have to be better. And looking at the potential this class holds, I have no doubt that that will be the case. Now, this is definitely a daunting task. We're coming out of a bubble that has not only protected, but isolated us from much of our own realities. Most, if not all of us, have no idea what is to come, myself included. And so a lot of what I've talked about here today may not make sense yet. I mean, it barely makes sense to me, and I'm up here talking about it. So if you're wondering how your own success will play a role in this effort, I don't have a good answer for you. But what I do know is that there is a greater good to which we are all contributing, whether we want to or not. And so we must push ourselves beyond the brink of failure, transcending not only what others expect of us, but what we expect from ourselves. With this, I urge you all to embrace failures to come and endeavor courageously in the path of your success, whatever it may be. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2021.
thank you, Benny. Our next address will be given by our third valedictorian. I would now like to present Dawson Schraber. Dawson is the son of Adam Schraber and Jamie Adams.
Thank you, Dr. Yarbrough. Looks like you got us both, Benny and I. Well, hey everybody. Glad to see you've all turned on your cameras tonight for me. Might have taken a bit longer to read the reactions from the chat for this one. For those of you watching at home, I'm glad to see we already have more viewers than the Oscars. Many of you may already know me if you've taken an honors or AP class, ever. But if you haven't or don't necessarily know me, my name is Dawson, and I am one of the 3, and if I may add, astounding valedictorians for the class of 2021. That's right, it wasn't part of your mid-graduation catnap. There's 3 of us. We imagined and we tried that hard. And it seems many of you have as well, and I commend your efforts. But try taking 7 AP exams and then we can talk. I feel bad for the future graduating classes because we have left such a significant mark. I've heard teachers ask what they'll do without us. I know I, for one, won't be spending late nights writing that poetry analysis essay due tomorrow. Now, I'm not done, so you can't go back to bed just yet. I'd like to take a quick recap, as this year has definitely been insane. Masks, online school, political uprisings, the weirdly provocative book recommendations that end up in the emails you don't read. I think this is the first year I've bragged to my friends about getting a shot. Imagine that. About 1 year ago, we as juniors felt bad for the senior class as they left without an ending due to COVID. We, on the other hand, had an entire school year during the pandemic, yet we still had to take the Constitution test. Riddle me that, Mr. Newmeyer. It was also the first year in many that Harlem returned to block scheduling, which seems like a novel idea until you realize that half the classes really means twice the work. But if you're here, congratulations. You made it through all the hoops and you've done the work, all while making embarrassing TikToks that you hope will never surface in your newly adult life. I can't say it's been all bad though, with such an incredible class and some of the best friends I probably will ever make. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in a class that constantly asks to watch that one history project you made in sophomore year? But I can honestly say I'm jealous of some of the things that you will go on to accomplish. Not to mention the most endearing teachers that I've tried to make this year as enjoyable as possible, despite some of our conveniently but consistent malfunctioning Chromebooks. Seriously though, the teachers have definitely had to put up with a lot this year, so we thank you. Teachers like Miss Thompson, who won't always directly state who her favorite class is, but we know which one it was. Teachers like Miss Gupta, who will put up your poster on the Eternal Wall of Fame. And no, it's not extra credit. And Mr. Dredge, a man whose class you actually missed out on if you didn't take it. I'm looking at you, Benny. The energy Dredge brings to the table is and always will be unmatched, I'm sure even in retirement. These are just some of the most amazing teachers this school has had to offer us, and I've been fortunate enough to have had the pleasure of taking their classes. I don't know where all of you will go after this ceremony, but wherever it is, make it your best decision. If Mr. Sweet's one-term crash course in economics has taught me anything, it's opportunity cost. Well, along with how to interrupt class when you're at home because he can't see you, but that's beside the point. The cost of doing something is never only monetary. It's what you could have done with that time otherwise. For example, if you could be making thousands of dollars streaming Valorant on Twitch, you should do it. Just don't be surprised when Burnt Banana 123 doesn't become the next online celebrity account. Time is the most finite resource we have in this world, and this past year has done nothing but deplete it. So as I close out this hopefully enjoyable speech, I ask you one thing. Spend your time wisely. And do with it what makes you happy. Because I sure did these past 4 years. And if you didn't, that's okay. This one's for you. For the father of computing, Alan Turing once said, quote, "Sometimes it is the people no one imagines anything of who do the things no one can imagine." Thank you to everyone who supported me and got me up on the stage, and congratulations to each and every one of you.
All right, thank you, Dawson. Ladies and gentlemen, now please join me in welcoming Harlem School Board President, Mr. Mike Sterling.
Today we celebrate you, class 2021. But I would like to start by saying thank you to some people. Thank you to the families, to the moms, fathers, grandparents, brothers, sisters, all the family members that brought each one of you here today. Again, thank you. Through all the years of help and guidance you have provided to our graduates, I say thank you. Thank you to the teachers, administrators, and support staff that have also worked tireless hours to teach, mentor, and guide each and every one of you. Again, I say thank you. I want to say thank you to your fellow students, those that motivated you to be better students, those that taught you new ways to see the world, those that reminded you about that missing assignment. I most definitely say thank you. Now I come full circle back to you, class 2021. You did it. You are here to receive your diploma. It took family, teachers, and fellow students to help, but at the end of the day, you did this. You showed up. I most definitely say thank you. Today only starts your journey, but you are ready. In a short time, you have overcome so much. Missing part of your junior year, remote learning, in-person learning, half weeks, no sports, some sports. Through it all, you have risen to each challenge and overcome every obstacle. In front of me today is our future doctors, nurses, engineers, electricians, union workers, entrepreneurs, and hopefully some homegrown teachers. That's a plug. You will build our future. I have faith in you. You will lead the world into a better place. Your group of students are more prepared and willing to challenge the status quo than I have ever seen. Keep that up. Today, your new title will be that of Harlem alumni. You are Huskies through and through. So as you leave here today, remember a couple things. Life is hard. Never give up. Try new things. Get out of your comfort zone. Go and see the world whenever possible. Never stop learning. The world never sleeps, so wake up early and get after it all. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Sterling. We're here today to honor excellence in academics. To that end, at this time, we would like to recognize all of our students who have earned the Harlem High School Grade Point Average Medallion to stand and be recognized. These students have distinguished themselves by earning a cumulative grade point average of 4.0 or greater. Congratulations to all of you. Dr. Morris and members of the Harlem Board of Education, I have certified that all of the students presented for graduation have completed all requirements of the Illinois State Board of Education and the Harlem Consolidated School District. Members of the Board of Education, please assist us in the presentation of our diplomas.
Hannah A. Abdu.
Cassidy May Akerson.
Esmeralda Marie Albright.
Jillian Stephanie Hilario Alejo.
Jolene Nicole Hilario Alejo.
Xavier Lloyd Alexander Rahuth.
Seth Mitchell Anderson.
Tessa Danielle Applegren.
Joanna May Arajo.
Haley Lynn Armando.
Alejandro Andres Ortega.
Kaylee Renee Aran. Dominic Bagori.
Brooke Victoria Ball.
Brian Anthony Bannister.
Valen Kendria Bardales.
Eli James Bearfield. Sharana Mary Lee Bell Bassett Humble.
Keegan Francis Beck.
Russell Brady Behrens.
Lily Jordan Bennett.
Parker W. Barnaby.
Haley Christine Bibby.
Grace O. Biggers. Noah W. Biggers.
Caitlin Nicole Burkholtz. Jenica Beth Blake.
Angelina Nicole Borison.
Emma Grace Boompituk.
Brandon Richard Boyle.
JJ Connor Brandel.
Christopher Brent Larson.
Kayla S. Bronson.
DeTravion Marshawn Brown.
Logan A. Brown.
Cole K. Bulow.
Brianna Faith Bull.
Madeline Rihanna Bull.
Trevor Christopher Burns.
Kason A. Byerly.
Sadie Renee Byers.
Blake Thomas Canal.
Isabella Faith Canal.
Jetta R. Corallo.
Austin Chavius Carter.
Alexander Kenneth Castile.
Ariana Elise Castillo.
Faith Bella Castillo.
Lauren M. Chandler.
Caitlin Laura Chappelle.
Madison Elise Christensen.
Rika Chung.
Kaylee Marie Clark.
Emma Diane Clausen.
Alexander Matthew Cleveland.
Cheyenne Marie Cockram.
Shondell Sincere Coleman.
Kylie Collins.
Keisha Angelique Colson.
Alicia Hope Cook.
James Ryan David Cooper Jr.
Caitlin Trinity Crane.
Benjamin D. Sinivershonen.
Jacob Donald Kunitz.
Jalen Marie Dock.
Kira Gabrianne Daney.
Kira Ann Dalton.
Jonathan Edward Dar.
Michael Daughtry.
Dominic N. Dawsey.
Q. Dew.
April Elise Dobbs.
Aurora Sky Drebs.
Caitlin Gail Driscoll.
Joshua Michael Dunbar.
Chloe Elizabeth Duncan.
Cody Lee Durham.
Jocelyn Marie Egger.
Trinity L. Isons.
Vincent Guillermo Falcon.
Riley J. Flanagan.
Natalie Elizabeth Flock.
Garrett Patricio Flores.
Bryson D. Foster.
Marissa Lynn Foster.
Jordan Fowl.
James Logan Franklin.
William H. Frazier.
Alejandro Fregoso.
Andrew Carl Frieden.
Dylan Keith Gall.
Diego Garcia.
Jesse James Garrett.
Jenna Faith Garza.
Sky M. Gerloff.
Lacey Jane Gamova.
Janae Christina Gilbert.
Seth E. Gill.
Oriana Ginny.
Luca Gilagorvic.
Jacqueline Gonzalez.
Taylor Nicole Goodwin.
Landon Eugene Gordon.
Nicholas Paul Greenland.
Caleb Michael Greer.
Kaylee Amanda Groff.
Aiden Edward Gruner.
Chase Alexander Guzman.
Maxime Dana Hall.
Aubrey Ellen Hareslat.
Taylor Irene Hargraves.
Tiffany Rose Harper.
Kia Linnea Harrington.
Shamari Ladora Harris.
Logan Britton Miko Harchia.
Evan Deshaun Hawkins.
Hope Elizabeth Hedrick Moan.
Madison Marie Helms.
Kelsey Nicole Helwig.
Dylan Noah Henderson.
Jaden D. Henderson.
Tuesday May Hinges.
Camille Renee Herdklotz.
Rebecca Lynn Harrett.
Serenity Gisela Hernandez.
Daniel Hernandez Inestroja.
Shakaria I. Hines.
Madison Isabel Hobson.
Jaden Ashley Hodges Daniel Awich.
Avery Jordan Holmes.
Kaylee Renee Holt.
Elena Ray Holte.
James Dwan Hooper Jr.
Noah M. Horchmeyer.
Abigail Ann Hugert.
Joshua Lawrence Irwin.
Era Isani.
Lazaric Pierre Ishman.
Casey Ann Colette Jarashewski.
Adam Lewis Jenkins.
Delaney Grace Johnson.
Trevor Jaden Johnston.
Spencer John Jolliffe.
Dezion Marquel Jordan.
Yegos Yasipovic.
Easton Eugene Jupin.
Adam Michael Carabin.
Nathan Anthony Cardell.
Jackson H. Keating.
Ethan James Keeler.
Mackenzie Kelly.
Wesley Merle Kelly.
Ariana Renee Kirchmar.
Justin Dale Kissling.
Ayana Kizart.
Marina Noel Klein.
Reese Andrew Cleanse.
Marcus Legion Knight.
Tiana Kunselman.
Alasia Laboy.
Gabrielle Leidenberger.
Jenna N. Lane.
Peter James Laudacina.
Trista Marie Leeden.
Cassandra Ariana Lee.
Riley D. Lewis.
Flor Crystal Lopez.
Isabel Josephine Lugo Anton Santi.
Allison B. McGregor.
Noah Lino Mack.
Jacqueline Alexandria Mainwith.
Connor Daniel Manring.
Miranda Jane Morocco.
Michaela Renee Marshall.
Jamie Lee Martin III.
Luke Daniel Martin.
Rhett Perry Martin.
Ty Morgan Martin.
Nadia Marie Martinez.
Andrew J. Matson.
Mark Anthony McBrady Jr.
Dominic Joseph McCarron.
Kaya Ann McDonald.
Isaiah Ray Thomas McDormand.
Omarion Deontay McFadden.
Roger McGee Chad Jr.
Haley Elizabeth McGuire.
Adriana Tegan McKenzie.
Hannah Grace McLaren.
Kevin Ariles Jacob McMillan.
Robert Scott McMinn.
Milo Wetzel McLenas.
Patrick James Mellies.
Amber Eileen Mendoza.
Haley Ellen Merkel.
Charles Patrick Michaels.
Sarah Renee Middleton Keister.
Alexandria A. Miles.
Wyatt Thomas Miles.
Tequila Tanae Mills.
Cody A. Minor.
Keenan Shy Minor.
Mila Sky Miranda.
David Allen Mershek Jr.
Madeline K. Montana.
Kaya Rainey Morley.
Bailey Joseph Morse.
Carter Michael Mosky.
Cameron Michael Mosley.
Amila Marimi.
David M. Myers.
Torin C. Myers.
Jason Jeffrey Neer.
Elijah Andrew Neal.
Ian James Nelson.
Kayla Marie Nelson.
Nathaniel G. Nelson.
Brandon No.
Cheyenne Sierra Neitz.
Douglas Allen Niswanger.
James Carl Nicious.
Alyssa Kylie Noble.
Miles Logan Newley.
Danielle Ray Olson.
Addison Malia Olson Isom.
Lainey Marie Orozco.
Amy Shane Otterson.
Sierra L. Overby.
Timothy David Palm. Emma Elizabeth Paul.
Brandon Ellis Pearson.
Krista Leanne Pearson.
Mackenzie Madison Lee Peck.
Dakota R. Penwarden.
Carla V. Perez.
Angeline Marie Perola.
Jenna Marie Peterson.
Kyle James Peterson.
Tyler Richard Pierce.
Ashley Faye Pinkston.
Jacob Benjamin Pittman.
Rory James Plum.
Jeffrey P. Poole.
Joshua Edward Pretty.
Alberto Javier Prieto.
Faith Ann Rose Procopio.
Blake Eugene Proctor.
Tatiana Amari Purifoy.
Jordan Alexander Ranstein.
Kaylin Michelle Reese.
Austin Christopher Renfro.
Xavier V. Renteria.
Dawson Thomas Renton.
Ethan C. Ruppin.
Oscar Antoine E. Rich.
Piper Nicole Richardson.
Carson T. Riddle.
Alexandra Francis Riley.
Reagan Noel Riley.
Alyssa Suzette Rivera.
Michaela E. Robbins.
Mackenzie Paige Roberts.
Aiden Lee Rodriguez.
Noah M. Rogers.
Alessa M. Romero.
Caden David Rosenke.
Jenna E. Roush.
Lily Renee Runyard.
Madison Michelle Rush.
Kayla Aaron Ryle.
Samantha Kayleen Patricia Salandino.
Aiden Xander Sailberg.
Paige Alexandria Sands.
Angelina Elise Sailors.
Autumn Kathleen Schiller.
Tristan James Schindler.
Bryn Ray Shalackett.
Ryan L. Schmall.
Brianna Sarah Diane Schober.
Dawson James Schreiber.
Laura Ann Schumann.
Anna C. Schussler.
Brandon Thomas Schwartz.
Cameron A. Scott.
Hayden Lee Scott.
Kiona Anne Marie Scott.
Parker Mays Scott.
Jason Shaw.
Garrett Allen Shaw.
Adrian Ramadan Shemshadini.
Michael John Shinneman.
Emily Grace Elizabeth Sigler.
Jasmine Janae Simplot.
Brandon Singmatong.
Abigail Grace Selecta.
Adam Riley Smith.
Grace Catherine Smith.
Hunter Anthony Smith.
Jolynn Smith.
Melanie Ella V. Smith.
Nicholas William Smith.
Cheyenne Dakota Snyder.
Brooklyn Paige Sockwell.
Tanner E. Speck.
Brianna Marie Splithoff.
Olivia Rose Spray.
Trevor David Squires.
Donovan Michael Stevens.
Kylie Mae Stein.
Reagan Lillian Stoll.
Elena Ann Story.
Lucas Allen Stretz.
Caitlin Nicole Sir. You're welcome.
Alyssa N. Summers.
Sean Daniel Swanberg.
Colin J. Swinney.
Taylor Jacob Taft.
Andrea S. Tapia.
Caden Ramiro Tiarina.
Nina Todich.
Eric Christopher Topher.
Taisha Talinchi Lopez.
Jaden Marie Tots.
Aiden L. Traverso.
Dylan Trago.
Justin Michael Tripp.
Ryan Phillip Tucker.
Trenton James Tucker.
Ethan Elijah Tully.
Brianna Tatiana Turner.
Garrett Austin Tuttle.
Ella Darlene Twett.
Jackson Roy Vanberger.
Shayla Nicole Vecchioni.
Damian William Vila.
Lene Hope Vervink.
Haley Victoria Raleigh.
Jasmine Renee Wallace.
Zeta Marie Saliger.
Nevaeh Lynn Walters.
Ryder Lee Ward.
Allison Lynn Warren.
Hope Danielle Washington.
James Adam Watson.
Olivia Ann Watton.
Paige Willa Watts.
Joseph Michael Webb.
Allison M. Welsh. Brendan Luther West.
Kayla Elizabeth Westcott.
Austin James Edward Westfall.
Malachi Lamar Wayplus.
Matthew Mackenzie White.
Sydney D. White.
Bailey Mariah Wilder.
Nia Michelle Williams.
Alyssa Ann Marie Wilson.
Madeline J. Westbrocker.
Philip D. Weffler.
Elijah Jacob Wolf.
Madison Kayleen Woodman.
Kayleen Michelle Wright.
Caitlin Rain Wright.
Xavier Shiashuk.
Noah Thomas Yancey.
Ashley Yanez.
Caden James Yeoman.
Joseph H. Yoon.
Brighton Lynn Young.
Michelle Jamia Young.
Caitlin Anne Marie Zentz.
All right, and now would everyone please stand for our final graduate of 2021. Zoe Lynn Zilhart. All right, graduates, at this time, please move your tassels from the right to the left side of your hat. You guys, you're good. 'Cause Here we go, class of 2021. It's my honor to you, the graduating class of 2021 from Harlem High School. Congratulations, God bless you, and good luck.
All right, we got the best graduation in Nick 10. Give it up, class of 2021. All right, students, if you can exit out on the north end, and parents, can you exit out on the south and meet your graduates. Have a great night, everyone.